Welcome. This is the Minds Matter assessment plan for Messiah University. Minds Matter is a club on Messiah University's campus that's mission is to raise awareness, change perspectives, and equip Messiah University to promote a Christ-like environment where mental health can be discussed as a part of our complete wellness. This club exists to run events and inclusive opportunities for students to discover mental health and learn how to take care of their own mental health. Messiah University is a small Christian liberal arts university in Grantham, Pennsylvania, right outside of Harrisburg. It serves just over 3,000 students, and its mission is to educate men and women toward maturity of intellect, character, and Christian faith in preparation for lives of service, leadership, and reconciliation in church and society. Within Messiah University, there is a Student Success and Engagement Division. This is where Minds Matter falls. Student Success and Engagement has their own learning outcomes that support the mission of Messiah University. It includes 6 things: dig deep, be rooted, be cultivated, branch out, be strong, and bear fruit. These 6 things point to helping students grow in their own maturity of intellect, character, faith, as well as giving them opportunity to serve, lead, and reconcile with one another. Messiah University is accredited by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education, and it has been since 1963. Its next accreditation visit is January 2023. Messiah could be considered a relatively healthy school, as they have an 89% retention rate of full-time students after their first year, and they have a 79% graduation rate of full-time students. Here is a grid of learning outcomes that will be assessed through Minds Matter. There are 3 of the 6 student success and engagement ideas that are highlighted here. Be cultivated, allowing students to learn about other perspectives in the world. Be strong, focusing on students learning to understand themselves and build meaningful relationships. And bear fruit, being able to have students live lives that are purposeful, satisfying, and effective as they follow God's calling for them. These 3 things from student success and engagement guide the campus wellness and recreation goals, the larger club in which Minds Matter sits under. The campus wellness and recreation goals focus on improving the health and wellness of students in all ways, stewarding what God has given them, growing physically, mentally, and spiritually on their own journeys of wellness, and helping students choose healthy lifestyle patterns that they can grow in. The Minds Matter learning outcomes then are listed in the middle column. All of these learning outcomes will be assessed by a survey sent to all of those who participate in Minds Matter events throughout a semester. The assessment goal is to have 85% of students who did participate in Minds Matter to agree or strongly agree that they have 1. Had meaningful conversations around mental health, 2. Created opportunities to build healthy relationships with others focusing on mental health, and 3. Helped them grow in their care for their own and others' mental health. Let's look at these learning outcomes a little deeper. The first learning outcome is, as a result of participating in Minds Matter, students will engage in meaningful conversations about mental health, particularly with those who have had different experiences. Minds Matter goal is to have students be able to meet in safe and healthy ways that they can discuss mental health and learn more about the perspective of others or even their own. Learning outcome 2 is that as a result of participating in Minds Matter programming, students will build healthy relationships with others who are focusing on mental health. Through these safe and healthy conversations that are provided, Minds Matter hopes to form relationships where they can be caring for one another as students on a mutual campus and really grow in their own mental health and help others pursue their own. Learning outcome 3 states, as a result of participating in Minds Matter, students will demonstrate growth in their care for themselves and others regarding mental health. So building off of the first 2 objectives, This one really integrates how creating that safe, effective space and creating those relationships allows students to really care for the minds of one another and the mental health of one another by being good stewards of our own mental health and encouraging one another and pointing them to light. As stated, the survey will be the biggest way for assessment to be discovered through Minds Matter. The survey here is a fraction of what will be shown. It focuses here on the Likert scale, which is a great way to find out the true satisfaction of students and how they're experiencing Minds Matter. This Likert scale offers 7 questions and starts with strongly disagree, ending with strongly agree, to create an unbiased survey. There's no neutral option in order to get students to really think about which one they agree with or disagree with and how they can best select that answer. Before these questions, the survey has some basic background information to see who's really being reached by Minds Matter. And after these Likert scale questions, there are some open-ended questions for more in-depth feedback or options for students to share more of their interests or heart regarding Minds Matter. Searoom writes that attitudes, perceptions, and levels of satisfaction should be focused on. This is what Minds Matter hopes to do as they're serving the student body and want to be sure that the satisfaction of students is one of their top priorities. The survey will be just one way that we measure and assess Minds Matter's effectiveness on Messiah University's campus. The other ways we will measure the performance of Minds Matter is through verbal feedback, observation, possible focus groups, and attendance. These things will be helpful as we collect a plethora of data, but the survey will be the most important, as again, it shows that satisfaction unlike any other source of assessment can. How this data will then be disseminated is through the Minds Matter team first and foremost. So as the assessment measures are taken and received, the survey, groups, feedback, and attendance tracking will all be looked over and collected by the Minds Matter team, including the president and 3 other members. This Minds Matter executive team will then create infographics or a spoken presentation or just lead a discussion to disseminate the data they found over a semester of time. The Minds Matter team will present this data to their advisor. They will then also present it to executive clubs on campus when they have the large executive club meeting. And hopefully they will present this data to those who are in the Minds Matter Club and coming to the member meetings. That way other students know how effective Minds Matter is and are able to give their input on growth. The advisor of Minds Matter will then be responsible for reporting this data and assessment to the Student Success and Engagement Board, made up of other advisors for student success and engagement. So this involves the Minds Matter advisor, Student Success and Engagement, and the Executive Club for Minds Matter. The timeline for this assessment plan for Minds Matter starts in August with a possible needs assessment. If the Minds Matter team thinks that finding out what would be most helpful and best for the student body, then they can do a needs assessment to figure out what is really needed. Next, from September to November, there will be semester events. And after each event, there will be attendance taken, written down and tracked, and possible verbal feedback and observation done by the executive members. In December then, after the first semester is over, the survey will be sent out, and hopefully lots of responses will come in, and there can be a potential focus group at this time as well for students to give their feedback on Minds Matter that past semester. Coming back after winter break, January will be a review of the survey results and planning on how to grow from there. The Minds Matter team will then do events from February to April of that spring semester. After each event, again, collecting attendance, looking at verbal feedback and observation. And then in May, doing a final end of semester survey, and reviewing the results together, writing down anything that may be important for the following year. As the Minds Matter team puts this assessment data together, they will look at the pros and the good things that came out of the assessment. They will briefly go over the difficult or disappointing parts of the assessment and use that to fuel how Minds Matter will grow in the future. This assessment plan will hopefully be productive for Minds Matter as they continue to grow and help teach others about mental health and encourage other students in their own growth of mental health. Thank you for listening.